Right, okay, so what we're doing here, it's my turn. So it's looking at an old exam paper. This is from paper 2 from the old A-level, well, it would have been an AS paper, 2006. Okay, so it's quite hard to find the mark scheme for this. But it's about looking at our suggestions A, B, C, D and trying to match them up to the samples we know that we've got before. Okay, so we've got a fan club. It has 2,076 members who are divided geographically into 8 branches. Okay, the club's committee wishes to seek members' views on where to hold the next annual meeting. A sample of 100 members is to be obtained and their views sought. The following suggestions are made as to how to choose the sample. So we've got to look at these suggestions. And then for each of the 4 suggestions, name the method, explain whether every member is equally likely to be included. Part B, which of the 4 is preferable from a statistical point of view, i.e. which is fairest, and give a reason why suggestion A might be preferred to suggestion C. Okay, so this is quite a sophisticated way of trying to identify methods. Just why it's my turn, I presume. Okay, so let's have a look at what we've got. So we've got suggestion A, members are selected from all 8 branches. The number of members from each branch is proportional to the size of the branch. The branch secretaries are asked to choose the appropriate number of members from their branches in any convenient way. So it's proportional to the size of the branch. There's 8 branches, blah, 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 but in any convenient way is our clue there. Okay, so it's not necessarily a random sample. So it's not stratified or anything like that. So I would say that one there, and I'm going to write my answers on the question paper, and don't do this for your teachers. So that one there is quota. Quota sampling. And if we just look back at what we said about quota sampling, population is divided into groups according to a given characteristic. So here it's about branches. The size of the group determines a portion of the sample. Again, that's what we've got. And there's a non-random process to select from each group, i.e. the branch manager is choosing. And then it says, explain whether each member is equally likely to be included in the sample, and that is nah. Not equally likely. My branch is 250 people, and I've got to find 30 people. I'm going to do the ones who are easiest to contact. Okay, I'm not doing a random sample and not insisting I get that information. So not everybody's likely to be chosen. It's more the ones that I have contact details for and get a response from very quickly. Right, 2, let's look at X1. 2 of the branches selected at random. 50 members from each of these branches are selected at random. So we have a population, it's divided down into strata, and then we're choosing one. Well, I'd say that was cluster sampling, but have we done cluster sampling? No, so this looks like it's beyond the scope of the course. So this is one you won't recognise. So don't worry about it, but this is cluster sampling for those of you who do stats. Okay, so we've got it broken down, and then we're going to a smaller subgroup, not equally likely. Depends on the size of the samples, we just size of the branches, we're just taking 50 from each. Right. So we're going to put I'm going to put a little star by that one because you don't know that one. Cluster. Don't need to know that. So this question is obviously from the days when it was slightly more broad, the amount of sampling you need to know. Right, members are selected by a random process from each branch. The number of members from each branch is proportional to the size of each grant. So it's once we've got into the branches, it's random and proportional to the size of the branch. So I would say that was stratified sampling. Okay, and it's random once we're in there. So yes, they're equally likely. So in this case, the branches are our strata, and we're getting a random sample from within that strata that's proportional to the size of the branch. So that's stratified sampling. Okay. And suggestion D. Members are selected by the chair of the committee from the branch she is a member of at the next local meeting. Really? On the mark scheme, it says this is a random sample. I would have thought that was opportunity sampling, but anyway, we'll go with what it says. Members are selected by the chair of the committee from the branch she is a member of at the next local meeting. Hold on. Okay, let me consult mine. Yeah, it is opportunity. Because she's going to be there. Yeah, so she's taking the opportunity to sample them. And then, is it every member equally likely to be included in the sample? No. Just the ones at her branch. It's not random. Right, so from a statistical point of view, I think the stratified sampling is going to be the best one. Because there's an attempt for it to be proportional and to reflect the wider population. And then it says, give a reason why A might be preferred to C. Well, it's easier. I didn't finish that one off tonight. Each member has an equally likely chance of being chosen. Right, so if you were the person in charge of trying to get this sample, so let's say you've got a small branch of 70 people and you've got to get a sample of 10, your life would be a lot easier if you could just choose those 10, okay, which would be quota sampling. However, if you want to do it fairly, every member's got an equally likely chance of being chosen, provided you number your 70 members and randomly generate 10 and then go hell for leather at contacting them to get their thoughts on what it is you want to do. So for part C here, the reason that A is preferable to C is it's easier to carry out because now I'm just choosing my sample, whereas for part C I'm having to go through a kind of a randomized rigmarole to try and make sure everybody has a fair chance of being chosen and then chasing up on that. Okay, so that's that one.